Elias Ward never expected his transfer order to matter. He had spent most of his career fixing quiet problems in quiet places, power drift in deep space relays, sensor errors no one else wanted to touch. The research station above the ocean world of Kelaris was supposed to be the same: calm, remote, temporary. The station drifted like a silver ring above a blue planet covered almost entirely by water. Storms moved slowly below, white spirals against endless seas. The alien species who lived there, the Kelari, rarely left their world, but they welcomed scientists from the Alliance. They were known as careful thinkers, peaceful and deeply private. Elias arrived with one suitcase, a toolkit and no expectations. For the first 2 months, nothing unusual happened. He calibrated systems, repaired habitat seals, and shared meals in the common hall. The Kelari moved differently than humans, taller, long-limbed, with smooth skin that shifted color slightly with mood. Their eyes were large and reflective, their voices soft and musical. One of them worked near him often. Her name was Lurin. She was a xenobiologist assigned to study microbial life brought up from the planet's deep oceans. Elias noticed her because she asked careful questions. She listened fully before responding. When he explained something, she did not interrupt or pretend to understand. She simply nodded and said, "Show me." They worked side by side in silence many days. Elias liked that. Silence felt safe. On the day everything changed, the station lights flickered for half a second. Elias barely noticed, but Lurin froze. Her skin, usually a calm shade of pale green, darkened sharply. She pressed one long hand against the lab table as if the floor had shifted. "Lurin?" Elias asked. She did not answer. Her breathing became shallow. Then she collapsed. Elias reacted before thinking. He caught her as she fell, surprised by how light she felt. Her body trembled and her skin color shifted rapidly through unfamiliar patterns. "Medical emergency in Lab 3, he said into his wrist comm. "Kelari researcher down." The response was immediate. Med drones arrived, followed by Kelari physicians. Elias stepped back, heart pounding, watching them lift her onto a floating stretcher. One of the physicians looked at him sharply. "What happened?" "She just froze," Elias said. "The lights flickered and then this." The physician's eyes widened slightly. Without another word, they rushed Lurin away. Elias stood alone in the lab, hands still shaking. Hours passed before anyone spoke to him again. When they did, it was not casual. He was summoned to a private meeting chamber near the station's core. 2 Kelari officials waited there, along with the station's human liaison. The air felt heavy, tense. "Elias Ward," one of the Kelari said, "you were present when Lurin collapsed." "Yes," Elias said carefully. The official's skin shifted to a darker tone, a sign Elias had learned meant concern. "Her season has begun." Elias frowned. "Her season." The human liaison glanced at him. "It's a biological cycle," she explained quietly. "Rare, not well understood by non-Kelari." The Kelari official continued. "Our species enters this state once, if at all. It is a survival synchronization. Without it, the body fails." Elias felt a chill. "Is she going to be okay?" "That depends," the second official said, voice low, "on compatibility." A screen activated between them. Symbols and data flowed across it. Elias did not understand most of it, but one thing stood out. A single line highlighted in human-readable text. "Compatible stabilizing presence, Elias Ward." Elias stared. "That's a mistake." "It is not," the official said. "We have tested every species on this station, every neural pattern, every emotional spectrum. Only yours aligns." Elias felt his stomach drop. "I don't understand. I didn't do anything." "Exactly," the official replied. "Your kind adapts without dominance. Your emotional responses stabilize instead of overwhelm. That is rare." The human liaison shifted uncomfortably. "What does this mean for Elias?" The room was silent for a moment. "It means," the Kelari said slowly, "that Lurin's survival now depends on proximity to him." Elias stood up. No, there has to be another way, technology, medicine. We have tried, the official said. For centuries, Elias thought of Lurin collapsing of the way she had trusted him in small, quiet ways. He swallowed. What are you asking me to do? Stay, the official said. Remain near her. Interact as you normally would, nothing more. And if I do? The official's skin darkened further. Then her season will fail. The words settled like weight on Elias' chest. He was escorted to the medical wing shortly after. Lurin lay in a softly lit chamber, surrounded by gentle monitors. Her breathing was steadier now, but her skin color pulsed faintly, unstable. When Elias stepped closer, one of the monitors shifted. The reading smoothed. A Kelari physician noticed. Their eyes widened slightly. Elias approached the bedside slowly. "Lurin," he said softly. "It's Elias." Her eyes opened. They focused on him with effort. "You stayed," she whispered. "Yes," he said. "I'm here." Her skin shifted to a calmer hue. The monitors stabilized further. The physician exhaled, a sound of relief. Over the next days, Elias was asked to remain nearby as much as possible. He sat beside her bed, spoke about simple things, his home planet, the sound of rain on metal roofs, the way humans told stories to calm children. Lurin listened, sometimes drifting in and out of sleep. Each time he spoke, her condition improved. Word spread quickly through the station. Some Kelari were curious, others were afraid. Humans were known for unpredictability, emotional intensity, dangerous attachments. Some alien officials argued that Elias should be removed for safety. Others argued that losing Lurin would be a greater risk. Elias heard none of this directly. He only knew that when he tried to leave the medical wing once, Lurin's vitals spiked within minutes. "I'm sorry," he told her when he returned. "I didn't mean to cause that." She looked at him, eyes clear despite her weakness. "You did not cause it," she said. "You are the answer." That frightened him more than anything else. He was not a hero, he was not trained for this. He was just a human who fixed broken things. As the station orbited silently above the endless ocean, Elias realized his quiet life was over. Something ancient and fragile had chosen him, not because he was strong, but because he stayed. And somewhere deep in the station's systems, alarms began to register interest from beyond the orbit, because the galaxy had noticed something impossible. A human mattered more than technology, and the season had only just begun. The station changed after that. It was not a loud change. No alarms rang. No emergency lights stayed on. But the way people moved, the way voices lowered when Elias passed, the way doors took a second longer to open, it all felt different. Elias stayed near Lurin almost all the time now. The medical wing gave him a small resting area beside her chamber. He slept in short pieces, waking whenever her monitors shifted. Each time he stirred and spoke her name, the readings smoothed again. The Kelari physicians watched closely. They recorded everything. His tone of voice, the distance he stood from her bed, even the silence between words. "What are you doing?" one of them asked once, confusion clear in their shifting skin tones. "I'm just talking," Elias replied, "about normal things." The physician tilted their head. Normal things appear to be highly effective. Lurin grew stronger slowly. She could sit up now, supported by cushions. Her skin still changed color often, but the wild shifts had stopped. When Elias entered the room, the colors always softened. "You do not force calm," she said one day, watching him carefully. "You carry it." Elias smiled weakly. Most people back home wouldn't agree. Outside the medical wing, arguments grew louder. Some Kelari leaders demanded Elias be isolated, claiming dependency was dangerous. Others argued that removing him would be cruel and pointless. The human delegation sent careful messages to Earth, unsure whether to celebrate or worry. Humans had always adapted. That was not new. What was new was being biologically essential to another species. Elias was finally invited to a council discussion. The chamber was wide and open, filled with soft light and flowing data screens. Kelari officials stood in a loose circle. A few humans watched from the edge. One Kelari stepped forward. Their skin shimmered with tension. "Human Elia's ward," they said, "your presence stabilizes Lurin's season, but this connection grows stronger each cycle." Elias nodded. "I can feel that something is changing," he admitted. "She seems more aware, more open." "That is the risk," another official said. "If the bond deepens too fast, it could overwhelm both of you." Elias looked down at his hands. "Then tell me what to do." The room was silent. Finally, the first official spoke again. "Do what you already do. Stay. Listen. Do not control." Elias let out a slow breath. That at least was something he could understand. When he returned to Lurin's chamber, she sensed his unease immediately. "You went to the council," she said. "How did you know?" "I feel when you are pulled away," she replied softly, "like a current changing direction." He sat beside her. "They're afraid." "So are you." He did not deny it. As days passed, Lurin began walking again. Slowly at first, supported by Elias and a med drone. Each step seemed to steady her more. When she stumbled once, Elias caught her instinctively. The moment his arms wrapped around her, the monitors spiked, then settled into the strongest stable pattern yet. The physician stared. Elias released her at once, startled. "Sorry, I didn't." "It is all right," Lurin said. Her skin glowed with a warm, unfamiliar color. That helped. After that, controlled physical contact was added to her treatment. Simple things, sitting side by side, Elias offering his arm when she walked. No urgency, no pressure, just presence. The data shocked everyone. The station's AI recalculated its projections daily. Lurin's survival odds climbed steadily. At the same time, something else appeared in the data. Human neural adaptation patterns spreading subtly through the station's environmental systems. Elias asked about it. "You influence the space you occupy," one scientist explained. "Your stress patterns are low, your emotional responses are shared." "That sounds impossible," Elias said. "It should be," the scientist replied. "Yet here we are." Not everyone accepted it. On the 23rd day of Lurin's season, the station experienced a systems failure. It began as a minor power fluctuation, then spread rapidly through secondary life support controls. Elias felt it before the alarm sounded. The air shifted. Lurin stiffened beside him. "Something is wrong," she said. The lights dimmed. Emergency sirens began to echo through the station. "Medical wing to control," a voice called over comms. "Power instability confirmed." Elias grabbed a portable mask and handed it to Lurin. "Stay here," he said. "I'll check the corridor." "No," she said sharply. Her skin darkened with fear. "Do not leave." "I'll be right outside," he promised. He stepped into the hall just as gravity wavered. A blast door slammed shut at the far end. Smoke filled the air from an overheated panel. Then the lights went out completely. Elias moved by memory, keeping one hand on the wall. His comm crackled with overlapping voices, panic, confusion. A sudden impact shook the station. Elias was thrown off his feet, slamming into the floor. Pain shot through his shoulder. "Elias?" Lurin's voice echoed faintly from the chamber. He pushed himself up, ignoring the pain. "I'm here." But the door to the medical chamber had sealed. Emergency protocols. "Override," he said into his wrist comm. "Manual override medical wing." No response. Inside the chamber, Lurin's condition worsened rapidly. Without his presence, the stabilization failed. Her skin shifted wildly, her breathing shallow. Elias could see her through the small, reinforced window. "Look at me," he shouted through the glass. "I'm right here." He pressed his hand flat against the barrier. Inside, Lurin mirrored the motion, placing her hand where his touched the glass. The moment their hands aligned, even separated, the monitors flickered back to life. The AI registered it instantly. "Stabilization returning," a calm synthetic voice announced. "Proximity threshold re-established." The door unlocked with a hiss. Elias stumbled inside and knelt beside her, breath ragged. "I told you not to leave," she whispered. "I'm sorry," he said. "I won't again." Across the station, engineers discovered the truth. The failure was not an accident. Someone had tried to force an evacuation of the medical wing, believing removing Elias would end the dependency and restore control. They were wrong. The station survived. The saboteur was detained quietly, but the damage was done. The council could no longer deny what was happening. Lurin's season was no longer just hers. It was reshaping how the galaxy understood humanity. That night, Elias sat awake beside her bed, unable to sleep. The ocean planet turned slowly beneath them, endless and dark. "I never wanted to be important," he said quietly. Lurin looked at him with calm, steady eyes. "Importance is not chosen. Response is." He considered that. Outside the station, long-range sensors detected incoming ships. Not hostile, but curious. Observers, researchers, leaders. They were coming to see the human who stayed. And Elias understood something then, deep and unsettling. This was no longer about saving one life. It was about proving what humans truly were when it mattered most. And the season was far from over. The ships arrived in silence. They held position far from the station at first, like distant stars that did not belong to the sky. Different shapes, different technologies. Members of the Alliance and a few observers from beyond it. None asked for permission to watch. None needed to. What was happening on the station had already changed too much. Inside the medical wing, Elias felt the tension before anyone told him. The air seemed heavier, as if the station itself was holding its breath. Lurin sensed it too. Her skin shifted into a thoughtful shade, slow and steady. "They are here," she said. "Yes," Elias replied. "I think they want answers." "So do we," she said gently. Lurin was stronger now. She could walk freely through the medical wing and even into the nearby gardens. The season still shaped her, but it no longer controlled her. The bond between them had stabilized into something calm and deep, like a river that no longer flooded its banks. Still, the physicians warned that the final phase was approaching. "This is the most dangerous part," one of them explained to Elias. "If the synchronization completes improperly, the strain could harm you." Elias nodded. "Then tell me how to do it properly." The physician hesitated. "There is no guide, no precedent." That did not surprise him anymore. The council requested a final observation session. Not a trial, not a negotiation, a witness moment. They wanted to see what humans truly did when choice, not force, guided them. The chamber was prepared near the station's core, where environmental controls were strongest. Lurin stood at the center, calm and upright. Elias stood beside her, hands relaxed at his sides. Sensors surrounded them, but they were unobtrusive. The station AI observed quietly, its processes focused and alert. "You may proceed as you see fit," the council representative said. Elias looked at Lurin. "What do you need right now?" She considered the question carefully. "Honesty," she said, "and stillness." So he stayed still. He did not try to fix anything. He did not try to guide the process. He simply stood beside her, present and open, the way he always had. Minutes passed. Then more. Lurin's skin began to glow softly, not with instability but with clarity. Her breathing deepened. The sensors recorded a rise in synchronized patterns, human and Kalari neural rhythms aligning without conflict. Something new appeared in the data. Resonance. The station trembled slightly, not from damage but adjustment. Environmental systems recalibrated automatically, responding to the shared rhythm. Power flows smoothed. Stress markers dropped across multiple decks. Observers gasped softly. Elias felt it then, not pain, not fear, but warmth. A sense of connection that did not demand anything from him. It simply existed. Lurin reached out and took his hand. This time no alarm sounded. "This is it," she said quietly. "The end of the season." Elias swallowed. "Are you okay?" "Yes," she replied, "because you did not try to become something else." The glow faded slowly. The sensors stabilized. The station returned to normal operations. The season was complete. For a long moment, no one spoke. Then the station AI spoke, its tone unchanged but its words unprecedented. Event recorded. Classification updated. Human adaptive presence confirmed as stabilizing factor across multiple biological frameworks. In simple terms, the galaxy had just learned something important. Lauren stepped forward and faced the council. Her posture was strong, her skin calm and bright. My people believed we needed perfection, she said. Control, precision, isolation. We were wrong. She gestured to Elias. We needed someone who stays. Murmurs spread through the chamber. Elias felt uncomfortable with the attention. He had never liked being watched, but he understood now that this was not about him as an individual. It was about humanity. The council asked many questions afterward. Elias answered honestly. He spoke about listening, about choosing not to leave when it would have been easier, about humans failing often but trying again. He did not exaggerate. He did not make promises. That mattered more than any speech. In the days that followed, the Alliance revised several policies. Humans were invited, not required, as stabilizing partners in cross-species research, not leaders, not controllers, anchors. Lurin's people introduced a new term into their language, one that translated roughly as life anchor, a being who does not complete you but helps you remain yourself. Elias was offered awards, positions, transport back to Earth. He declined them all. He stayed on the station, returning quietly to his maintenance work. He still fixed broken systems, still walked the long corridors during low-activity hours, still preferred silence. Sometimes Lurin joined him. They worked side by side again, just as before. Not bound by crisis now, but by choice. The observers eventually left. The ships disappeared one by one. The station returned to its quiet orbit above the endless ocean. Life went on. One evening, Elias stood at the viewport, watching storms form and fade far below. Lurin stood beside him. The galaxy expected a miracle, he said. They received something better, she replied. Understanding, he smiled faintly. Humans were not the strongest, not the oldest, not the most advanced, but when it mattered most, they stayed. And in a universe full of perfect systems, that was enough to change everything.